Steve and Alan's Pro Tips in a short time. Learn a lot.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Alan.
Hey, first, I want to encourage our listeners to check out last week's episode on the legalities of streaming, some helpful tools there. But second, a few people wrote in to ask for some clarification, and I think you can help us out, Steve.
Yes, but a reminder, I am not an attorney, and this is not legal advice. However, I'm usually pretty confident when it comes to talking about this copyright stuff. What are people asking about?
Well, during that last episode, we were discussing how to legally share recordings of performances. That is, performances that have already happened and were recorded, and now people want to share those recordings on YouTube or some other way.
Yes, I remember. I was there for the discussion.
Right. I'm just framing this up for listeners who might not have heard it.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. Please continue.
So it's clear that we need permission to share those recordings of the performances after they've happened. But what about while the performance is happening? Do schools need a license for that part of it?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you, listeners. And again, this is not legal advice from an attorney. However, I can report on the guidance from the National Association for Music Education, or NAFME, and the National Federation of State High School Associations, which is the body that writes the rules of competition for most high school sports and activities in the United States.
Those seem like two pretty credible sources.
Yes, and they also remind people that this is not legal advice, but here's what they say. First, live streaming on a school or many third-party websites requires a license. However, certain streaming platforms, like YouTube, are licensed to live stream without additional permission and as long as the performances are not archived on the platform.
So it's okay for me to stream the performance as it's happening, but just as long as it's not posted for someone to view after the event.
Yes, close. I do want to clarify. That is only the case if the school is streaming it on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or another streaming platform that already has the built-in license for live streaming.
Okay, so streamed on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram is fine. But if it's my school's website or like my personal website, I would need a license?
Correct. And again, this is only allowed while the performance is actually happening. Also, it is important to check the user agreements on streaming platforms. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, they're all good with this, but you need to do your research for the other platforms.
Okay, so the only time I don't need a license is if I'm streaming it live and I'm using YouTube or another platform with the built-in licensing and I'm not saving it.
Close. There is one other exception. You may always record your performance and save it for archival purposes. Our guest last week referred to this as the proverbial filing cabinet. So you can save it, but not in a location where others can access it.
And why would we do that if we can't even show it to anyone?
Well, you can. You may use it in class. You can show it to your students.
Oh, okay, good. So I wasn't breaking the law 20 years ago when I recorded concerts and then had the students watch them the next day in class.
Correct. And I'd argue that's probably a good habit. It's always good for students to hear their performances after the fact and reflect on them.
Whew, okay, let me make sure I've got this straight. I record the concert and later I show it to my students in class. No license needed. I also don't need a license if I broadcast the concert live on YouTube or Facebook, but only if it's taken down immediately after the performance. Otherwise, I need a license for everything else. This includes if I want to put it on the school's website or any other platform where there isn't already a built-in license for live streaming. And I most definitely need a license if I want the recording posted and available for public viewing later.
A plus, Alan.
Yes.
And a reminder to listeners that if you want to have those performances available for viewing after the fact, whether it's on YouTube or any other platform, you can check out last week's episode for an easy and affordable way to do so.
And if you haven't listened to that already, there is a discount code, especially for our listeners. It's in the intro, so you don't have to listen to the whole thing if you don't want to.
And if you haven't picked up on this already, I'm not an attorney, and this is not legal advice.
Steve is not an attorney, and this is not legal advice. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Alan.
Steve and Alan's Pro Tips in a short time. Learn a lot.